was launched.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AF24NEWS Talks. Just as always, I'm joined by my two co-panelists. To my left, I have Dr. Olabisi Dejifolutile, a director here at AF24NEWS, and to my right, I have Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile, the editor of AF24NEWS. And today we're going to be talking about something a little less serious than politics, but just as important. We're talking about the situation at the Dunamis International Gospel Centre yesterday, where the lead pastor of the church, Dr. Paul Enenche, interrupted the testimony of a lady by the name of Anyim Vera when she was saying that she went to university and graduated with a degree in law. The pastor had refuted her claim, saying that there was no such thing as a BSc in law, as she had put it, and also questioned the integrity of her testimony. And it sparked a lot of reactions on social media. So today we want to talk about it, starting from Dr. Olabisi Dejifolutile. First of all, what do you think what are your initial thoughts about the situation?
Well, actually, when I checked the social media this morning, and I saw something like fake Pastor Enenche, social media outrage against Pastor Enenche over fake testimony, palaver or scandal or whatever. And the fact that the pastor should apologize. I was curious. So I went to check what was going on, and I found out that the pastor actually interrupted the lady while she was giving her testimony, and described her testimony as fake, and also the testifier as a liar. At that point, I wanted to know what the testimony was all about. So I also went through the videos of the service, and the first thing I heard was a BSc in law, and it caught my attention. And I was like, why are people now complaining? There is no BSc in law. How can somebody graduate with a BSc in law? So later, well, that was the beginning, but I saw the pastor's reaction, and I asked myself, what will make the pastor to react this way? It's strange for someone to have a BSc in law, really. And the pastor said, well, there are the fact that you say you have a BSc in law, we bring something out. It's strange. And the fact that the woman said she spent 10 years to actually obtain that degree. Yes, I was now asking myself, why should the pastor now be this? Why would he react in such a manner? From the way the pastor spoke and what he said, I could just imagine what was going on in his mind. Because the pastor said, do you think we are faking it here? We are not faking it here. You can't climb this altar and be faking. Where do you get BSc law? Is there anyone here that has a BSc in law? That tells me that the pastor was probably being reactive to the fact that the lady could be coming up to give a false testimony, which could have a backlash. Because who for crying out loud, who gets a BSc in law? So I guess that pastor was coming from the point of, like, don't come here and share a fake testimony. And when you now share a fake testimony, you now ridicule the church, and you allow people to say that we are all deceiving ourselves here. So so for me, I want to look at what could have made the pastor to react the way he did. And I'm also surprised that somebody could actually read law and graduated and come out to say that he graduated with a BSc in law. It's I don't know how that can be. Some have claimed that it could be a
Medical law.
slip of tongue, you understand, but that, or that it could be stage fright, or but then come to think of it, if somebody spends 10 years to read law, well, well, I would say I want to be more disappointed in a graduate that read law and came to the public to say that she had a BSc in law. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Well, to the point of that Dr. Dejifulutile mentioned about people saying maybe it was stage fright and that made her, because it was also brought up by the pastor that she wasn't speaking eloquently for a law graduate. And I just want to ask Dr. Yegbile, what do you think about that assertion that, oh, the woman should know better English if she studied law and taking.
Well, first of all, I want to say that the lady might be under some sort of stage fright, or maybe seeing the crowd and their first time of facing such a large crowd or something. Then, whether she's eloquent or not, the issue of that, I want to say clearly that because someone has a degree in law does not mean she knows all the rules of grammar. I mean, we have been to court before, and some lawyers, the kind of grammar that comes out from their mouth, you want to hide your head on the table. But that is not to excuse her. I think also that the prophet or the pastor was too harsh on her. One, if she says she has a BSc in law, the pastor would have maybe asked, prompted her, "Are you sure?" You know, that kind of a thing. That, "Are you sure it's BSc?" Then maybe she would have been awake or reminded that it's not a BSc, because under pressure, many people say what they don't mean to say. And apart from that, I also heard that the pastor has been under scrutiny and under attack from social media activists who have been saying that people are coming to his church to give fake testimonies and so on. So maybe it is in that light that he wanted to show people that, look, they have been saying our church, we allow fake testimonies. We don't allow that here. He ended up embarrassing the poor woman. I think as a man of God, he should have been a little bit calm and diplomatic in cutting her short.
Well, I want to talk about, well, the reaction of the church now. It turns out that the woman did have a bachelor degree in law that she earned at Noun University, and she also had an explanation which she shared anyway during the testimony, that she deferred admission sometimes. She couldn't make up to pay the fees and so on and so forth. The church has responded by issuing an apology and explaining their own side of the story. I want to ask Dr. Dejifulutile, what do you think about that response, and do you think it was necessary, or do you think it is not sufficient?
Well, I think it is sufficient. I mean, that is the best that the church is the noble step that the church could take. I mean, if it found out that this person actually had that law degree, and that the pastor, based on his judgment of her grammar, eloquence, and the fact that she misrepresented the degree that she ought to have, possessed, which is not the fault of the pastor, because we need to point it out here that it is not the pastor that made the woman to say that she had BSc law, and we all know that there is nothing like BSc law. And after finding out that, oh, this is wrong, well, my action was irrational and all of that, the church has apologized. I think that is a good step. I'm even proud of the church, and I want to commend the church for coming out the same day to issue that public apology. And not only that, the church also said that the pastor had got in touch with the lady in question, and that they are ready to work with her towards her social and spiritual integration, which is very important. Of course, yes, I can imagine the embarrassment to the lady, really. But for me, I think this speaks more about the kind of education that we are also getting, the quality of our education, which means that we need to work more on some of these things. A graduate should be able to speak, a graduate should be able to present the kind of degree that she possesses. I don't think that is too much of a thing to ask from a graduate. And I would not sit here and say that Nigerian graduates are all like that. No, I won't even sit here to say that it's the quality of education in Nigeria is poor, rubbish, and bad, because I've dealt with so many graduates from Nigerian universities that are doing fantastically well. I am also a proud product of Nigerian university system. I've never studied abroad, and I have so many people that never studied abroad, and they are doing exceptionally well. So that is not the representation of the Nigerian graduates. And we need to also point it out that if there is anything that the National Open University of Nigeria needs to do to up its game concerning the kind of graduates that it dishes out to the public, maybe they need to do something about it. But I also know for sure that the fact that you are a graduate does not mean that you can be eloquent, you understand, but not to the point of missing the type of degree that you possess. That is why I'm not happy about that particular drama. But now that the apology has been tendered, I think the social media can go and sleep and allow us to rest.
Thank you very much for your responses, and thank you for joining us again on another edition of AF24NEWS Talks. Let us know your own thoughts about the entire situation in the comments, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us across our social media pages, and see you next week. Thank you very much.